Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gluttons for Geekdom Live. I am Nick James, and today we are going to be talking about Batman. I went back to my Superman episode to make sure that I don't talk about one too much over the other, so let me just warn you now, strap yourself in, this one's going to get pretty long. Let's start off cinematically, alright? Let's just dive right into it. Batman, 1989 with Tim Burton. That's the first one for many, excuse me, but not the first one for me. The first one for me is going to be Shoemaker, but we'll get to that in a second. So Burton came out in '89, cast Michael Keaton, and that was a big hurrah. I'm going to actually move this really quick. That's what I love about live videos. You never know what's going to happen, right? There we go. Excuse me. So they didn't really know what was going to go on, because Michael Keaton was Mr. Mom at this point. You know, you're going to cast him to play Batman? Like, what the hell is that? Jack Nicholson was cast, and he was the big nut for the point, and he got so much money off that for like residuals and all that. I know that was tied into his contract, and like that man keeps making money off of being the Joker. Very good Joker. He's the one that we would call the gangster, if you will. He is good in it. I like his prosthetic as long as we don't get too close to him. The lines, where did you get those wonderful toys, and wait till I get a load of me, and the back and forth, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? That's the stuff that a lot of people started their entire Batman foundation on. This symbol was seen everywhere in 1989 and 1990. Warner Brothers couldn't get it off of stuff, and that relaunched the Batman franchise a lot because of the 66, but we're going to get to that at the very end. So let's go through. Burton gets another try, gets another step up, gets a whack at it, if you will. And that was Batman Returns. That one came out in '92, where he had cast Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and we had, did I not write down her name? No. Anybody? Yo, Lawrence, you out there? Daryl Willard Jordan. Hey, what's up, Daryl? Lawrence, if you get on here too, let me know Catwoman's name, or Daryl, that'd be awesome. But he also had, so he has Danny DeVito Penguin, and he has Catwoman. Why can't I remember her name? Selena Kyle come in. And when that one came out, he went even darker with it. Those are both really, Danny DeVito is absolutely repugnant in it. He's in that fat suit, and when he's eating the stuff in the black, so I wasn't able to actually watch those. So my first my incarnation of Batman, my Batman, if you will, I'm not proud of it. It's not like I like it or anything, but it would be Val Kilmer, because that movie came out in 1995. It was directed by Joel Schumacher. When that came out, I was 5, so I don't think I saw it in theater, but DVR, DVDG, no, VHS, I'm that old, would have gotten it, but by the time he got his 97, that was my first Batman in theater. But my Batman is Val Kilmer. Tommy Lee Jones plays Two-Face, and it would have been cool to see Billy D. Williams. Yes, Lando Calrissian is Harvey Dent in Tim Burton's, but they had Tommy Lee Jones come in, and he was Two-Face. Jim Carrey played the Riddler. I wanted to say the Joker because it looked like he watched Cesar Romero, and he's like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. If I just freaking chew the scenery, that's what both of them looked like they were doing. They just wanted to chew the scenery. Michelle Pfeiffer, thank you, sir. Jeez, can't believe I forgot that. Daryl, shout out. Michelle Pfeiffer, everybody, was Catwoman. So when they got over to Schumacher, they had those two, and they just chewed the scenery. It was just... Now watching it, as my age, I've collected, I'm immersed. I can watch it and smile. When I watched it new, I've only had happy experiences with it, because that wasn't the beginning and it's not the end, When 26-year-olds came in 97, were like, we're getting a new Batman movie, and they got bat nipples on the bat suit, I understand where the backlash came from. If you don't know why, he looked at Roman gladiators, and if you look at gladiator suits, they have nipples on them. But Batman's not supposed to be a gladiator. But at least, when I read that, I was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. He's trying to make him look armored. It's not that good of a freaking thing to say, but whatever. So Tim Burton has even said, and I read it in John Schnepp's The Death of Superman Lives, What Happened, watch it, that, he's kind of felt bad. I built this empire, and I gave it to Joe Schumacher, and he messed it up. A special shout out that I want to give into all 4 of those movies. The only continuous character is Alfred, played by Michael Grough, G-R-O-U-G-H, Grough. And when he passed away in 2011, 2011, I was right. He's 94 years old. And it was sad, that was Alfred through all of them. That's what made you feel the continuity, We had Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, and then George Clooney stepped up and got a point, and he was the only one there to carry us through all of them. Chris O'Donnell gets to play Robin, even though he looks like Nightwing. He does do the R, But in the second one, in Batman and Robin, he looks like Nightwing, especially now because they changed Nightwing's color to red for a while. But now, you know, he's back to blue. He was blue. But, I mean, it is literally, and even when he's picking, I need a name. Batboy, well, there was 3. Batboy was one and Nightwing was the other one. I was like, oh my god, you know, and for me, maybe that's another thing that makes me just love Forever. Because even in 95, I was still really digging for the Batman animation, and Nightwing was on it. So somebody said Nightwing. That's all I needed. You know, it's still cemented in there. Now, again, before I get hate on the internet, they are silly. I understand that they're silly, but I like them. Nolan got back the Batman 2005. So it went from 97 to 05. It went 8 years. Did I do that math right? I hope. And because, I mean, Joel Schumacher, Batman and Robin, it nearly killed it. Oh, I didn't even bring up Schwarzenegger. Do we want to talk about it? We got time? I told you this was a long one. Yeah, forget. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Arnold Schwarzenegger blue in this movie. Ice to meet you. And there's so many. Go on YouTube. I'll post it underneath. All of his cliches are in one giant YouTube clip. And it's bad. We get a first cinematic look at Bane, and Bane is even worse than him in terms of his way to express or communicate. You know, he's bomb and places a bomb. Goes a few steps. Bomb. Places a bomb. Monkey business. Fucking horrible. Really bad, you know. So let's continue so you can see how he gets his awesomeness back. So Nolan gets it in 2005, and he just knocks it out of the park. So really quick, again, I'm going to get hates because I have literally just said that I like the Shoemaker movies for what they are. The Nolan movies, for what they are great movies. They are fantastic detective stories, but because they are taken so literal and want to be, there is very little whimsy placed, like the bat, the flying thing at the end. That's a little bit of whimsy, but that Tumblr is real. That actually exists, and they really try to go into the science, so it lacks the pushing of whimsy that I think a comic book movie needs to feel like a comic book movie. This is comic book characters brought to life more so. Still fantastic. Please, let's not get on that. Because they're freaking amazing. So 05, he gets his first one. Cillian Murphy plays the Scarecrow, which nobody saw coming. You know, if you looked at all the other 5 villains that I just said, they're all really cartoonish. Uma Thurman, somebody I forgot. And here comes Cillian Murphy, and he's got this really great plan to play the Scarecrow with the fear toxin. That makes sense. That landed in a real world, and that just blew everybody off their feet. Like, look how freaking serious this is. And then all of a sudden they do a second one that comes out in 2008. We had to wait 3 years for it, and it starts off, you know, it was rumored that the Joker was going to be in it and that Heath Ledger was going to be the Joker. And as we all know and love today, how awesome Heath Ledger is, at the time it blew up. The internet was like, are you out of your mind? The guy who's having sex with Jake Gyllenhaal in the mountains, Brokeback Mountain, that's our freaking Joker. This is out of your mind. So the opening scene to The Dark Knight is the clowns breaking in at the end, and whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. And you see him, and everybody watching that movie just went, and shut the fuck up, because that movie is brilliant, and he brings such a place to it, and his standing, and you know, I love the part where he breaks out and he's hanging out the cop car, and he just looks awesome. And how do you get these scars? You know, I'm not going to go through it. I could, because I love it, but I'm not going to for your sake. That was 08, and then he finally finished his trilogy. We waited 4 more years for The Dark Knight to rise. That's a long time, but it was worth it. Not as good as Returns. Everybody kind of agrees. Sorry. I gotta update my system. Anybody know how to make a camera work for a computer? Let me know so I can start doing this on a real camera. Bane, we get, like I said, he finally gets, what is that, then 97 to 2012. He has to wait a long time, but Tom Hardy is beautiful at it. And, you know, the whole holding up here, and what a lovely, lovely singing voice. It's awesome. And he plays it so well. The whole time, let me go through, as all 3 of these movies, we've had Christian Bale as Batman, Michael Keaton as Alfred, Rachel Dawes kind of loses someone. Well, she dies in the second one. Spoilers, jeez. We had, what's her name from the frickin' Dawson's Creek, Katie Holmes. And then we got Maggie Gyllenhaal. She died. That's how we got Two-Face. Harvey Dent is played in this one, not by Bailey D. Williams and not by Tommy Lee Jones. We get Aaron Eckhart. And the whole, you either live long enough to see yourself a hero, or you die a hero, live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Played off perfect. I love everything about that whole arc. Like I said, that's in the second one though. So the third one, I'm trying to power through. I've realized it's already 11 minutes. We're already going over my time, and I've still got stuff to go. So if you're not strapped in for even more Batman, you really have picked the wrong show. Do we go through Cillian Murphy? Oh, the whole time we get two freaking spoiler alert. Yeah, like you already know. Come on, that movie came out in 2012. It's 17. That's 5 years. Spoiler. She dies really cool. So we had Liam Neeson himself was Raish, Raz, I don't know, Al Ghul. I just watched Batman the Animated Series, and they clearly defined which one it was, Raish or Raz, and now I can't remember what they said. So he's awesome in it. Michael Caine is amazing, but I wanted to go to Christian Bale. The first one is great, and now, you have to mention the voice, because what the hell? I mean, when you're trying to be a hero, I kind of understand this, because it's there, but right now, Jessica, you're on there, you're my cousin, you've heard me talk forever, you'd still know that this was me. It doesn't really do much, and then he takes it to an extraordinary level. And where's the trigger? And now he's just groveling. And it's like, whoa, pump the freaking brakes, bro. Like, where's the trigger, man? That movie really didn't have a lot of oomph to it, and at the end of it, with the slugfest, and, where's the... It's just, it makes me crawl that they had to finish those films like that. But I'm not going to be here to push down another to raise it up. But let's just put an end on the Nolanverse. 3 films. 2, 1, 3 is how I order them in awesomeness, and even though 3 isn't good, it's a great Batman movie, but again, there's not enough whimsy for me to call it, not enough good whimsy, because whimsy is like, how does he get a grappling hook to place onto anything? That's a good amount, I can forgive that. How a man gets out of a hole in the middle of the desert with no credentials or money and gets back to America unnoticed, that's too big of a plot hole. That's not whimsy, that's bullshit. So let's go on, and we're going to be at the Emmys, because... costume change. You like that? Batfleck. That's where it's at right now. 2 movies, 5 suits already. That's what we need in a Batman. He was first seen in Batman v Superman. That came out in 2016, directed by Snyder. What's his first name? Can't remember all of a sudden. I'm pumped up on Batman. You guys feel this? Awesome. Blew my freaking hair back. The movie itself, not a lot of people brought it in. Not a lot of people enjoyed it. Whatever. Same kind of thing as when Michael Keaton got cast in '89. Nobody wanted Ben Affleck, It's freaking Ben Affleck. What are you doing? And he killed it. And he literally got, like, this big. He's just ginormous man. He's giant. And he plays it so well. He's going to get his own Batman film. Joe Manganiello is going to be Deathstroke. You might know Deathstroke if you kept up with Arrow. He was on that one. I feel like he was on one more, but I can't really remember. He's really present in Batman Arkham Knight, I believe. He's the guy who I can never beat. For a good reason, because Deathstroke's really, really hardcore. Now, I went through that. That's an oversimplification. If you want me to go back through different movies and just do what I did, let me know which one, and I can always start. I'm sure eventually I will have to get to that point. But right now, I just want to keep doing more. We're 15 minutes in, guys. We're still going, because I have to thank this man here. If you do not recognize this cowl, this is from the 66 cowl. I've got a 66 up back here. Mr. Adam West. At the time where Batman was about to be taken out of comic books, this show came out and blew people away. 66 to 68. It had 120 episodes. We got Yvonne Craig was Batgirl, and I meant to say earlier Alicia Silverstone is Batgirl, but why even bring that up when Yvonne Craig was the perfect on-screen adaptation of Batgirl? Burt Ward played Robin. Who else do we got? Alan Napier was Alfred. That was their Alfred, not Michael Caine or Michael... I can't believe I can't remember that name. Cesar Romero was their Joker, and if you really pay attention, the man wouldn't shave his mustache. So if you zoom in, he's just got white face paint over his mustache. Isn't that great? You get 3 different Catwomans in this because of reasons that doesn't really matter. Lee Merriweather, Eartha Kitt, and Julie Newmar. And they're all awesome. Just the whole thing, praise it. Watch it. Give it the freaking respect it deserves. It's because of this that all of this else happened. It saved the comics. It lets people know that Batman is a household name. That's a lot of live action Batman, but Superman, I went into the voice actors of their cinematic cartoons, so I felt bad not doing it here. It's going to go really quick because Kevin Conroy from Batman the Animated Series pretty much locked up everything. Now, are you ready for this list? Mask of the Phantasm, Sub-Zero, Return of the Joker, The Batman Beyond, Mystery of the Batwoman, The Batman Beyond flick, so he was old in that. He was in Gotham Knight, Public Enemy, Apocalypse, Justice League Doom, Flashpoint Paradox, Assault on Arkham, recently did The Killing Joke. That's a lot of Kevin Conroy Batman. Jeremy Sisto did Justice League The New Frontier. William Baldwin was Crisis 2 on Two Earths. Bruce Greenwood Under the Red Hood. Ben McKenzie for Year One. Peter Weller for The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight 2. And if you don't know, that's RoboCop. The original RoboCop was Batman. Isn't that awesome? Right now we have Jason O'Mara in the driver's seat, if you will, doing a fantastic job. The first time that we got to hear him was in Justice League War, which is based off of the new 52 Batman, so that one right there. Then he was in Son of Batman, where we got Damian Wayne. TOA. See, I freaking wrote shorthand, now I can't even remember. Batman vs. Robin, Batman Bad Blood, Justice League vs. the Teen Titans, and he's going to be in, Throne of Atlantis. And then Justice League Dark is going to be the last one. Sorry for spurting this out. I've now taken up 17 whole minutes of your time. This is a long one, but it's Batman, people. We gotta respect some Batman. You've heard me talk about Bob Kane, Bill Finger, and all that. I can go into that again later. But before we leave, you can't, the cinematic is where we're at and what we like to talk about. But you got to be able to leave with some Batman. If you enjoyed Nolan's first one, the Batman Begins, this is almost, I think, that what he was looking at. This is a Commissioner Gordon story with some Batman. Highly suggest reading this. Batman Cacophony. If you see, it's signed by Kevin Smith, too. Done by Kevin Smith, that man knows it. The other ones I own on digital, but I'll let you know. The Geoff Jones Batman Earth 1. Definitely read into that. Jim Lee did one, Hush. I know he didn't write it, but I can't remember who did off the top of my head. I should have written that one down, too. Excuse me, read Hush. Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder, they have taken on a new Batman, and they've done a great job. I said Jim Lee. I've got some props, and then we're going to finish on up. This is my favorite Batman I have. It is done by Jim Lee. It's gorgeous. It's that second favorite, because this is probably my biggest one. This one's heavy as hell, too, so sorry if I can't get it high enough. But how awesome. This is Denny O'Neil, and Neil Adams drew that. Neil Adams, is Neil Adams. If you don't know the name, please look it up. He has been one of the biggest advocates for superheroes or for comic books. He's going to get his own episode, actually. I just figured that out because 19 minutes in. I'm sorry for wasting so much of your times. I'm not wasting if you're watching it. Everything good? Yeah, okay. Now I'm just going to have to pimp a little bit more. Follow us on Instagram, Gluttons4 Geekdom. You can follow us on Twitter, Gluttonous Geeks, Facebook.com/Gluttons4Geekdom. And the big one, the mother lode, is now YouTube. Go to YouTube.com, search Gluttons4 Geekdom. All of these live films are up there. All of our past podcasts are up there. You need to go to YouTube to get all of the gluttonous goodness. If you don't want to go to YouTube and you're on our Facebook page already, hit the watch now or listen now. They'll shoot you right to YouTube for it. I've been Nick James. This is This has been Gluttons4 Geekdom live. I'll see you tomorrow, 4:30. What do you want to talk about? I'm thinking old Egghead, old Shellhead, all right? Iron Man tomorrow, 4:30. Have a good one, guys.